Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is the gear drive cams. My friend Rick wrote me and asked me why I didn't put gear drive, why I didn't decide to go with gear drive cams as opposed to the chain driven cams, the roller chain driven cams. There's a couple things about gear drive cams. Gear drive cams are more precise, but if the alignment of everything and all the shafts, the cam shafts, the crank shafts isn't almost perfect, then you'll get some gear noise. And so essentially, you need to check a couple of things. One is the crank shaft runout. It has to be checked two ways. One is with the cam plate removed. So what I've gone ahead and done here is I've essentially fabricated this plate so I can bolt this to the face of the engine case, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick this dial in here up against the shaft where I want to measure how much movement it is as I turn the engine. Okay, so stick this magnet on there and we'll zero this out. And then what we'll do is we'll turn the back wheel. Okay, we'll turn the back wheel to turn the crankshaft, and we'll measure how much the crankshaft moves when as it turns through its full revolution. Between zero and right at 2.5, 3 thousandths, and this would be acceptable for a gear drive. And essentially what they say is that if it's more than 5 thousandths, then you need to have your crank, you need to split your cases open and have your crank trued up. Now with that much, with more than 5 thousandths of an inch run out, essentially what probably has happened is somehow your crank, since the two crank halves are pressed together, and somehow they've rotated slightly, and that has caused your crankshaft to be out of alignment slightly. They recommend that above 5 thousandths that you split the cases in half, have your crankshaft trued up, realigned, and then some people have welded it basically to get it so that it never moves again. Now the next test is to do the same test with the cam plate installed. Okay, so here's the arrangement with the cam plate installed, testing the runout on the crankshaft. For me, I don't really need to do it because without the cam plate it was 3 thousandths. It probably will be even less with the cam plate bolted up. If you're going to run gear drive cams, I think if you run the Andrews configuration, they recommend that you run out. In order to run the gear drive cams, you need to have less than 3 thousandths or less. So I would be right at the limit of the recommendation for them, for Andrews, with regard to how much run out you can actually have and still have a successful application of the gear drive cams. Anyway, for me, I chose the chain-driven configuration. I don't have high lift. I use the stock camshafts, stock valve springs, stock valves. The chains will be fine. I just need a tensioner. Just needed a tensioner that wouldn't wear out so fast. So I think this Screaming Eagle kit will take care of that for me.